Welcome back to another edition of Second Take. We're episode 43. We're killing it. Armand, how are you?
I am doing very well. It was a great Thanksgiving break. It was good to be home. Got to watch a lot of sports, spend time with family and friends. Got to see my boy Johnny Manziel score his first NFL touchdown. Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook came back. Russell Westbrook was incredible in his first game back. Kevin Durant was good. We lost, but he put up 27. No rust there. So the Giants lose to the Jaguars. It was just a phenomenal break. Phenomenal.
Okay, well, Armand just covered the whole show, so I guess we're done here. Actually, you guys know I have to talk about Johnny Manziel. I'm going to do some Jill rants. I think there's going to be two today, so here's the first one. Yes, Johnny Manziel went into the game. Yes, he had a touchdown. He had 63 yards. Is this the regime? Is this the comeback? Is this whatever you want to call it? Absolutely not. Okay, the Browns have actually done decently well under Brian Hoyer. They had a bad game. Granted, it happens. It happens to us all. We've seen it. It happens. Whatever. Move past it. Johnny Manziel is not the answer. Just because he had one touchdown, 63 yards, wow, that's MVP stats. That's Hall of Fame stats right there. 63 yards. Wow. Come on, guys. I mean, people are freaking out about it, and he literally did nothing. Literally did nothing. Cool, they got a touchdown, but they still lost, so I mean, it was just kind of one of those pity things, like, the game's almost over, we're going to lose it, let's just throw in the backup because, why not? And that's what it was. So, Johnny Manziel, you got a pity play. Sorry, it was a pity play. Brian Hoyer is announced to be the starter for next weekend. Obviously, Johnny Manziel should not be the starter. He can't lead that team just because he had one touchdown and 63 yards. That's not a winning quarterback. Brian Hoyer has done a great job with that team this year. They won games, which is very new for the Browns. So, yeah, keep it under Brian Hoyer. He's clearly doing things right. Johnny Manziel cannot do things right because he's Johnny Manziel. And that's the end of my rant.
Well, that's good because I have a counter rant. Yes, Johnny Manziel only had 63 yards, but he had a touchdown on his first drive into the game. He did not have enough time to put together drives where he could put up more than 63 yards. If you give him a full game, I guarantee he will do more than what he did. Yes, the Bills were destroying the Browns, and they brought Johnny Manziel in because the Browns knew they really had no chance of winning the game. But from what Johnny Manziel did in his short time in the game, I'm impressed. I'm happy with what he did. Yes, he had the fumble recovery that the Browns recovered for a touchdown. Unfortunate. But like you said, bad things happen, mistakes happen, fumbles happen. But I think everyone's finally happy to see Johnny Manziel get a substantial amount of time.
No, not everyone's happy. Maybe like 5 people in this world are happy, and they're all annoying people. Skip Bayless was happy, annoying person. The Browns are 7-5 under Brian Hoyer. Okay, it's not great, but 7 wins, it's pretty good for the Browns. I mean, it's the Browns. And Johnny Manziel lost a game, for the game he did play. And you can't just go over that fumble recovery, that whole fumble, like it didn't happen.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
He lost the ball. He barely played, and in that time, he had a turnover. Come on, man.
Well, yes, in that time he did have a turnover, but he also had a touchdown. So you could say he played well. He could play bad. He played badly. It could go 2 different ways. I'm happy with what he did.
Played badly. That's the way I'm going. He's played badly. He's not good.
Fans, Jill is completely unbiased here, so let's all listen to her. She's right. Anyways, Browns will be playing my Colts on Sunday. Brian Hoyer will be starting. I guarantee the Colts will have that game won by the first half. Johnny Manziel will come in again, and we will see what he does. The Colts defense is not that impressive, so I guarantee Johnny Manziel will be very impressive in what he does against Indianapolis Colts. Browns will not win, but the Browns will make a playoff push. Johnny Manziel said it. He said he was happy to get in, happy to contribute. I mean, the team didn't win, but he's happy with what they're doing so far. Gave respect to Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer seemed a little salty on the sideline. The Bills were killing you guys, and it was kind of your fault. So, I mean, you could be salty, but the blame's on you. But if the Browns do make the playoffs, it's a very strong possibility. That's a very tight division. I hope to see Johnny Manziel get more play time. I think that the Browns could do something really well in using both Manziel and Hoyer. They have not yet. I would keep saying that it would be good for them, but that is all I have on that. Go Johnny, the regime, Johnny season.
Anyways. Okay, we'll ignore that whole little unbiased rant on Armand's part. Unbiased completely. Johnny Manziel sucks. He is not going to be playing because the NFL is a business and it's about wins, and Brian Hoyer has 7. Moving on, have to talk about my Eagles. This is for Anthony, since I know, he was a big Cowboys fan. Cowboys and Eagles played each other on Thanksgiving Day. Eagles won 33-10. Great game. DeMarco Murray looked like nothing. So go Eagles, killing it. As far as in the rest of the league, Colt McCoy did have his first start, or his second start, and this was against the Colts. As Armand just said, the Colts are a good team. Colts actually won 49-27, but Colt McCoy still had a great game. Very proud of him. I mean, of course, a win would have been nicer, but hey, Colt had 392 yards and 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So that's what I'm talking about, Colt. Looking forward, RG3, I'm going to go with Colt McCoy, but again, biased. Armand talked about the Giants losing. They lost to Jacksonville by 1 point. This is kind of like the battle of the bad teams, so I didn't tune into that game. I don't know if anyone else did. We've been talking about the Cardinals a lot. The Cardinals actually lost to the Falcons 29-18. They're still one of the best teams. A big matchup was Green Bay and New England. We had Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Green Bay pulled it out 26-21, which is a great game. Another got to talk about Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning beat the Chiefs 29-16. Pretty good because Chiefs are a decently good team this year. I'm going to move on to college football for rant number 2. So on Thanksgiving Day, you might have stumbled upon the little Texas TCU game. All right, let's talk about this. I have said this since spring ball that Tyrone Swoops is not the quarterback for the University of Texas. He cannot lead us to be a successful team. I have said it. No one will listen to me, and now people are finally starting to see, oh yeah, this guy isn't very good. We lost to the Horned Frogs 48-10, okay? Tyrone had, let me get this number right. Yes, 4 interceptions. 4, okay? 1 touchdown. We also had 7 turnovers total. Horrible. We are not this bad of a team. And it may not show up from the score because they still scored 48 points, but a lot of that was on, the turnovers because we would throw an interception and there they go. They get the ball in the red zone, basically. Okay? But our defense played very well. Our defense is the only thing that kept us in this game because it probably would have been 70-10, by the end of it if it hadn't been for our defense. Horrible play. And yes, we qualified for a bowl game because we got 6 wins somehow, but I do not think we deserve to go to a bowl game. And I would honestly say, don't give us an invitation to a bowl game because we don't deserve it. This is not deserving of a bowl game. I mean, why? I understand all you need is 6 wins to qualify. We went last year. We shouldn't have gone last year either. I mean, we lost pretty badly to Oregon. I mean, Oregon's a great team. But still, we don't deserve to go. This guy does not deserve to be our quarterback. And if I'm looking at Charlie Strong and I'm saying next season, I want to see a different person under center because if Tyrone Swoops is our quarterback again, we will have the exact same season as we did this year. And it's unacceptable. This is the University of Texas. We are held to a very high standard when it comes to sports, especially football. And this is unacceptable. 4 interceptions in 1 game is absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable. 7 turnovers? Please. No, I'm not doing it anymore. I need a new quarterback, and this needs to be fixed. Senior night should not result in a 48-10 blowout at home. It's disgraceful. Horrible. Can't be done again.
Yeah, it was a terrible game for Texas. Good game for TCU, though. A lot of people were thinking that Texas could give TCU a run for their money, and TCU proved a lot of people wrong. Jill said Texas played okay defensively. I mean, I guess, 38-point loss. I still wouldn't give much credit to the defense, but like you said, could have been worse. So looking forward, Texas was looking good for a team that's rebuilding. I will say that, but they're nowhere near the prominence that they used to be when Colt McCoy was leading the team, when Vince Young was leading the team. Even a couple of years ago, Texas was much better than this. So TCU has to be feeling good about the win. If I were a high school quarterback, I would be chomping at the bit to talk to Texas football coaches to take that starting spot because if I was a Texas coach, Charlie Strong, I would have zero confidence in Tyrone Swoops now and in the future. I would be looking for someone to come replace him, someone to develop. But, I mean, as we said at the beginning of the season, Texas is rebuilding this year, so you really shouldn't expect huge success from them. But overall, bad Thanksgiving game.
Rebuilding or not, unacceptable. Point blank. All right. Actually, TCU, I'm happy about this. Halfway through the game, I was like, you know what? TCU can make it into the playoffs. I'm going to start going for them. Let's get the Big 12 in the playoffs. And now they're actually ranked third, so they made that push to be in the playoffs. So, we'll see what goes on. I mean, we still have a little bit more football to play, but Big 12 is going to be in the playoffs. All right, looking at some other scores, we had it was rivalry week. Arizona beat Arizona State. Not an upset there. Stanford upset number 8 UCLA, 31-10. Pretty good there. Georgia Tech beat number 9 Georgia in an overtime game, 30-24. Michigan got destroyed by Ohio State, 42-28. Ohio State also lost their starting quarterback. So looking at the playoffs, the committee's going to be looking at that. Like, this isn't the Ohio State we saw all season, so do we want them to be in the playoffs? Probably not. They're still not in the playoffs. They're not in the top 4 right now. So, but again, horrible loss to them. Just awful. Florida State won again, barely, because that's what all they do is barely win.
Really?
Won 24-19. Still undefeated, but now they actually got pushed back to number 4 in the rankings. So I don't know how they do this. It's really frustrating, but yeah, they barely won once again. Moving on. Ole Miss upset Mississippi State 31-17. That's why TCU could get in, because the number 4 team just got out. That one was kind of surprising, but again, Mississippi State kind of came out of nowhere, so you can't be that surprised. Baylor barely beat Tech, which is weird, 48-46. We destroyed Tech, and Baylor destroyed us, so you would think it would be a different type of thing, but for some reason that was a close game. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but clearly something went wrong. Auburn and Alabama played. Everyone was hoping that Alabama would get upset, but nope. Alabama pulled it out 55-44. It was a pretty good game. Got to say that. It was a very good game. Oregon destroyed Oregon State 47-19. If I'm thinking about the Heisman right now, I'm seeing Marcus Mariota, a Heisman candidate right there. No one dominates college football like Marcus Mariota has. Not even like an attention, like he hasn't tried to grab attention like Jameis Winston, blah blah, But I mean, Oregon knows what they're doing. They've been good, especially under him. So I'm giving it to Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, I just want to comment on the Florida State-Florida game. It was I watched the entire game. It was very tight. I was pretty convinced for a while that Florida would actually end up winning that. Florida State, again, as Jill said, barely pulled out a win. But as the undefeated team, you take whatever win you can get, whether you're winning by 1 point, whether you're winning by 30. As long as you keep that 0 in your loss column, you're happy. We're looking forward seeing Florida State go into the college football playoffs. I would not put confidence in them to get past the first round. Looking at how shaky they've been, I mean, playoffs is a lot of pressure on you. It's a whole different ball game, regular season to playoffs. So, I mean, one and you're done. So I would not be looking for Florida State as the top contender to ultimately win the national championship. Your comments on Marcus Mariota, completely agree. He's been super impressive his entire college football career, as Oregon has been. So, yeah.
Also, Michigan fired their head coach, which is not surprising. They've been subpar at best ever since their Denard Robinson days. So, there's going to be another rebuilding team. Let's move on to college basketball. We're talking about Texas is a lot happier of a topic. Texas is still undefeated. We actually had a really close game on Sunday at UConn. UConn reigning national champions, but still ranked at the very bottom of the list, 24 or so. Texas was down by probably by 10 points, maybe with 5 minutes left. With 2 minutes left, we kind of kept it within 3 to 2 points. 4 seconds left, we're down by 2. Jonathan Holmes shoots a three-pointer, gets the 3, and just wins the game. Just shocking, but undefeated. Last night we played UT Arlington. It was closer than we wanted it to be, but we still won, so still undefeated. and everyone needs to tune into this game. On Friday, Texas is at #1 Kentucky. It's going to be a huge game. Texas could win it, or Kentucky could win it. Literally, this can go either way, and I just expect for it to be a great game. And, I mean, if we're going to lose, happens. You can't be perfect all the time, but I think it's going to be a fair fight. Both going to go head-to-head. Texas is the #6 team in the country now, so this is the #1 team versus #6, and it's going to be very fun to watch. Kentucky's still obviously undefeated. They play Providence on Sunday, and hardly a competition for them. So college basketball is looking pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Texas. That's a big win to beat the reigning national champions. You have to feel very good about that. Still undefeated. Going into Friday, it'll be a tough game, but I mean, I think Texas is going to approach the game very confidently. They've shown so far this season that they mean business. So, I mean, I'm feeling good. I mean, they could pull it out, but regardless, it's going to be a very, very good basketball game. So, yeah, congrats to you. It's definitely good to be a Texas basketball fan looking at the...
Not football, though, but Texas basketball. That's great right now. Let me touch on some NBA. As Armand said, yes, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, they were back. Sadly, they lost, but was anybody upset that these two are back? No, because it's just... It feels right, It feels so much better, looking at the Thunder and actually knowing the people on the court, Because there was a while where I was like, who is that? I've never seen that guy before, but Armand's crying. He's just that happy right now. He's so emotional, but it's a beautiful thing. I mean, they're back, and it's just, I don't know anyone who isn't happy about that. So, yes, they did lose to, what is New Orleans now? The Pelicans, is that what they're called? Lost to them by 112 to 104. Still, I mean, that is nothing to be upset about. Kevin Durant, 27 points. MVP right there. It's the reigning MVP. You can't be mad about it. So very happy to see him back. Armand, before I go further, let you talk.
Oh, seeing Russell Westbrook back on Friday against the Knicks, first of all, I was like, what a perfect game to return to. I mean, the Knicks are not great, so I knew Russell Westbrook was going to go off. He had 32 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He looked absolutely phenomenal. Kevin Durant returned, 27 points, no rust on him whatsoever. Fractured foot, couldn't tell. We took a loss. A lot of people were getting on me for the Thunder being just the only team above the Lakers in the Western Conference standings. It's rough, but, I mean, we didn't have our stars. And now they're back, and now we're going to take the West by storm. Teams need to be worried. Reigning MVP is back. I actually had an interesting discussion with Anthony Vincent, who's been on the show a couple times. He thinks that Russell Westbrook doing what he did without KD showed that Russell Westbrook would take a team further than Kevin Durant would. I completely disagree with that. I think Russell Westbrook is a phenomenal player. We saw in the playoffs how he was more aggressive than Durant was. He really held us down when Durant slacked. But at the end of the day, I just don't think Russell Westbrook is the type of guy you can build a team around. I think he's very good in his role supporting Kevin Durant. He's a star in the NBA. I believe he's a top 10, top 15 player. But as far as taking a team further than Kevin Durant, I do not agree with that. We're going to see that with Durant coming back, taking over the team. OKC is going to make a push this year, as we always do.
I think 1 week we're going to have that be our debate for the episode, because I think that's a fun debate. Let me go through some other scores. My Lakers. We're on a 2-0 streak. It's really exciting. We beat the Raptors in overtime, which I know the rapper Drake is very upset about. That was on Sunday. And then last night we won again against the Pistons. It's so exciting. It's like, is this what it feels like to be great? Because I really like it. Because, we're winning, can't stop winning. Everything's so exciting, but, I mean, not really. Cleveland actually won last night, so as we discussed, they're under a lot of heat from, funny pun right there. They're under a lot of heat from the league because they're not doing too well. Already talked, we actually had a little battle in New York, the Nets versus the Knicks, and the Nets pulled that one out 98-93. As we've talked about, the Knicks suck, which has been a thing for a while. Looking forward, we got the Lakers tonight against the Wizards. So we'll see about that one. Spurs are still doing pretty well. They're 13-4 this season. Tonight they're playing the Nets. Not going to see much surprise there. A good matchup is going to be Memphis versus Houston. Both pretty good teams are playing tonight as well. Yeah, that's all we got right now. But, NBA is fun. It's going to be a lot more fun with these people off from injury. So, Lakers got their people back. Swanky P is back. Thunder got their people back. Everything's starting to be okay again in the world.
Yeah, it's a great time to be a sports fan. I mean, we say this every week. There's just so much going on with college football, NFL, NBA, college basketball. So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we shall see you next week.